Uh, Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. It's actually a very huge pleasure to be joining this meeting today. We actually want to ensure that our collaboration with Think Cyber Nigeria is actually a very seamless and successful one. We're also hoping that in addition to all of this, we'll be able to provide your students with a very great opportunity to go about their school fees payment seamlessly and offer them very great opportunity to actually pay their school fees via our gateway channels and ensure that everything goes on smoothly. So I'm going forward. We would also be listening to what they have to say, their complaints, whatever challenges they are facing. We would also want to pick that up so that we can know how to address the issues going further in our conversations. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Albert Ogulu. So today we'll be looking at cybersecurity from the ecosystem point of view. Now, not just the training. So the ecosystem point of view, I and Mr. Rombuskela will just do a brief within just the next 5 minutes. Then we'll now just switch to the payment aspect because that is where we have a lot of we have a lot of. Now, what makes our training different? I will just do a brief. It's because we actually understand the training from what? The ecosystem point of view. What I simply mean is that we understand what works within the sector. Now, we are in Nigeria. If I may ask, do we understand exactly the cybersecurity need? What do the people in the industry, what exactly are they looking for? So I'll be sharing my screen and actually just run through that within the next 2 minutes. Then we can now actually dive into why our training is actually the perfect match for it. Now, the industry has need. Why? Because of the emergence of cybersecurity threats within the sector, mostly the Nigerian land space. There is actually an ever-increasing threat on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. I don't want to actually, recently, one of the major banks were actually trending because of threat. No. So identifying industry needs, not just any other training, are key. What quality of manpower do we need at this stage of what's the Nigerian cybersecurity terrain? And how do we develop a specialized training to actually meet with that need? That is what makes our training different. Now, the guy coming in at the end of the game, trying to actually get a job, this is where most of our cohorts get called. This is what they want. But if the industry need is not properly streamlined, the training might be useless at the end because there's nobody, your capability is not what they want in the industry. Now, what the industry is currently looking for, it's somebody who has the capability to actually come in as a tier 2 personnel because the combat arena is changing. They don't want the patients to start training you from the scratch anymore. They want you to actually walk in from day one and actually be able to actually unleash your dragon. Now, we've trained couples of people over generations at the simulator, and we now notice that even with all the training, most of them have not been to tech before. They don't have what it takes to bring it out. So we introduce some 2 things into this training. The first thing we introduce is what? The Titan session. Now, the essence of this is just still at the identifying industry need. The Titan session is for you to have engaged with industry experts right at the training stage. After your training, just like when you give birth to a child or when you want to initiate somebody into what adulthood, once you finish training, the next thing you'll be facing is a captain within the industry. He starts telling you this is how you have a 2 to 3 hour session with industry captains in 3 tracks of what cybersecurity, penetration testing, SOC analysis, and Windows forensics. So they show you what they have been doing and we've carefully selected best of the best in their field in the world. Now, in penetration testing, we have one of the best when it comes to, that's ESET. He's one of the lead penetration testers, the best cybersecurity antivirus company currently within the European region. Now, when it comes to infrastructure, Wazoo in Tech Times was actually rated the best XDR company. So we're bringing somebody who is leading threat response in Wazoo to come and talk about infrastructure. Right here in Nigeria, we're bringing somebody who is actually leading a kind of payment platform at their CISO to come and talk about what? Forensics within the industry. This will help you actually do what? Bring out those capabilities, because we've noticed that after training, there are trainings and there are trainings. People are still, the potentials are there, but it's still lukewarm. So that is actually where this comes in. Now, our coordinate relationship with the Association of CISOs, the banks, and the Cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria give us those insights to understand what exactly is the industry need. They call it the cybersecurity terrain in Nigeria. What are the attack vectors attackers are using to actually do what? Gain advantage within the sector. And how can we build manpower capability to mitigate it? So understanding these things before we actually curate a training is very key, because so that when you come out, there are people actually waiting to employ you. So I just want to look at it from the ecosystem point of view. Now, the last part is what? With those particular robust capacity relationship we have with key industry players, we are able to actually organize a job fair that absorbs you. So I think that's just a summary of our mastery of what the journey map to what from the identifying industry need to getting you a job. Now, Mr. Ron will just talk for 2 minutes or 3 minutes on the cyber simulator training and what makes it different. We now just jump into it, because virtually everybody in this training, we've had special sessions with them. We now jump into, I think, sorry, just for the last part, we brought this in. Now, everybody, the world is actually moving at a global pace. So everybody's using artificial intelligence. So we are adding this to what? Our recruitment process. This will actually make employers globally be able to actually do what? Come to our platform. So we brought up what? An AI-powered cyber talent matcher. So for those coming in for the training, all your capabilities, all your results will be imputed into an aspect of this particular platform. So once a recruiter comes with a job, it's actually free for any recruiter coming to recruit anybody. We're not taking payment, not for the first 3 to 4 years or 5 years. So they just put in their job recruitment. Your capabilities just pop up to match those job description and automatically schedules what? An interview. So the job fair, as they're coming for the job fair, they have access to this platform to put in their job recruitment. That should be actually one of the criteria for them attending the job fair. So they already have people, right as you are demonstrating, interviews are being scheduled already. So I think that's all we've added to this year's session, because we look at the pitfalls in previous session. Now I want to make sure that recruitment is seamless. The training, Think Cyber platform training is actually world class. We have no issues. However, the little itches we've noticed in previous sessions, that is actually what we want to actually improve on. So thank you all for being here. So I'll hand over the baton to Mr. Robuskela to quickly talk about the Think Cyber platform within the next 3 to 5 minutes, while we now round up with the payment platform. Yeah, Mr. Robuskela, please, can you just give us a summary of Think Cyber training globally and why it's different? Just a summary.
Okay. Globally, okay. Think Cyber Nigeria is one of the branches of Think Cyber Israel, which is Think Cyber Global. They have India, they have Singapore, they have in Europe, they have a number of places around the world. Think Cyber is very well known for training the most advanced globally. One thing unique about Think Cyber is you don't even have to have a technical background to be able to study cyber, and that's very unique. So if you don't have a technical background, you can still enter the cyber world. Now, what makes us truly unique is real-life scenarios. What does that mean? When you go on an interview and they want to know, well, you don't have any experience, so how can you apply for the job? You have what they call real life scenarios. You know what's happening today. You know what attacks are happening today. You can bring on what the real world knows. Most people who train don't even know what's happening today because they just get a lot of information. What I call a library. They dump information on them, but they really don't understand. They don't understand how to get ready. They don't understand how to interact. That's the second one. And the third thing I want to do, and I'm going to make this very short this time, is if we look at, there's four different aspects of the training. I always come back to the same one. Pen testing, pen testing, pen testing. Why? Because the world, every company, no matter what it is, I don't care who you are, from the biggest to the smallest, from the government to the municipal, they all need pen testing because everything has to be checked to make sure that the sites are secure. So pen testing, pen testing, pest testing, the US alone has 1 million openings and it keeps on changing. It might now be 1.2 million. I don't know. It was a few months ago since the last time I checked, and it keeps on growing. Europe, tremendous amount of openings. I live both in Israel and in Texas, and in both places, the amount of pen testing is constant. It doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you're 5 or 10 years. Pen testing is always needed, and it will always be needed. And the last thing I want to mention is, because this is not going to be a long open session. After this, I will be leaving. I wanted to tell you one thing. They always ask me, and how much can you earn when you work overseas? Might take a year or two. I'm not saying the first day, but just to give you an example, entry level overseas, I'm talking about Europe and the United States, also in Israel, is 3,000 to 4,000 US dollars, 3 to 4,000 K US dollars per month. That means you're talking about close to $50,000 a year. That's almost entry level when you go overseas. So if you can see, and then it can grow. So as you're studying and you're learning, you do a year or two local, and then if you decide you want to venture on, I truly believe that it would be great to continue working in Nigeria and protect the country and protect the companies. But if you do want to go overseas, it's open. It's open. It doesn't matter where you're from, what country you're from, it doesn't matter. What they're looking for is the experts because the need is so great. And from what we've seen, we're now batting between 95 to 100% employment. Singapore is doing 100%. More than one course is doing 100%. We have companies that are waiting in line. Why? Because we've given a few, they've done so well, so now they're waiting more. So again, I want to thank you again. Think Cyber Nigeria does an amazing job in training, and I hope you join us. And I wish you the best in your future career. And thank you again, and have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Robuskela, for that summary. I can see some guys just joining in. That's with the gene or not still. We're actually we've been in this session. It's been for 5 weeks. We have guys who already registered and just waiting to resume. And if you're just coming in and you might want to fall back to these videos or book a private session with us tomorrow. I will drop my phone number in the chat. You can chat us up and book a private session anytime from 11 till 4 p.m. tomorrow, 30-minute session. Now we jump straight to PRE-SIMULATOR NG. We understand that a lot of people want to use the platform. So Mr. Halbert Ogolo, can you give us a summary of how they can actually access your platform to actually use this platform to actually do their payments?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Michael. In as much as I would love to jump on this, I would want my colleague to also say something about this. So over to my colleague, please.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Abiola. I hope I'm audible. Can everybody hear me? Hello?
With you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you said you want Miss Mary Jane to actually say something. All right, Mrs. Mary Jane, please, you have the floor.
No, not Miss Mary Jane. Abiola, please.
Abiola,
yes.
Okay, Abiola,
yes.
okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll just make this very brief. I think that we are ready to partner with Think Cyber and also with all the students who would want to sign up for your courses. What we have positioned for this partnership is to see how they can also leverage our education funding products on the PRE-SIMULATor Hub, where they can access up to 60% of the cost of the course, right, from PRE-SIMULATor's hand. And the interest rate is very, very minimal. It's single digit. It's 0.75% month on month. The tenor we are offering is about 4 months, right? This is a collateral-free kind of credit access, and also the process is quite seamless. So they can use the platform that we have created to either pay directly as a last mile payment gateway for their courses, or if they also want to just access the education loan product that we have, such that they are able to commence and complete these courses without having to drop out for financial reasons. So we are here to just make that dream come true for them. Thank you.
For those actually taking the training, the payment is 2.5 million. Can you go down to the breakdown? The first payment, second payment, third payment, fourth payment, and fifth payment. Can you just shed more light on that and how they can actually start the training, start the payment, how they download your app and all those stuff? Can somebody talk about that from PRE-SIMULATor? Hello?
Okay, so in terms of being able to access the hub, I mean, we have the hub across all the app stores, so they can download the hub from their Apple App Store or also their Android App Store, right? We also share the link that would also make it very easy for them to see the loan calculator. I'm sure that probably you have access to that, so things are very transparent and very open, right? And so they are able to see what their equity contribution would be, and then what they are able to also assess as a loan. The tenor, the month-on-month repayment is clearly broken down based on their capacity to be able to raise the equity. So I think it's that clear and that's straightforward. We're also ready to offer that.
You can go ahead. I just want to share the screen on the loan calculator.
Yes. Okay. So you have Halbert on this call who they can reach out to. I'm sure that after this call or before the end of this call, Halbert would also drop his number. So we also have almost about 3-4 persons on this to be able to support all the students who want to subscribe to your program and your courses. So we are just here to ensure that it's smooth. It's smooth, and that's also seamless, and that it's also every areas of concern are properly addressed, right, on the call and also off the call.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that insight. I'm actually just trying to share the loan calculator so that they can see it in real time, what it looks like. Okay, yes, this is the loan calculator handle, which I've already. Okay, this is the loan calculator handle. So Mr. Albert has actually shared it. While it's loading up, it's acting up. So okay. So it's 2.5 on the train, at least for now. So this is what this is the equity contribution. This is what PRE-SIMULATor will actually be giving. So if you do the calculation, so this is what you're supposed to pay at the first repayment. This is what you're supposed to pay at the second repayment. This is what you're supposed to pay at the third repayment. And this is what you're supposed to pay at the fourth repayment.
Yes.
So that's actually for those who want to use a payment platform, this is the cost, this is the equity, this is what you're supposed to pay, spreading it down. Now, I think that answers all about the payment platform. So
And they are also, can you get on this, please? They are also at liberty to, so if they even want to raise beyond that equity that you just punched in. So the more equity you are able to raise, the lesser also the amount of loan that you also want to assess. So it's that straightforward. So whatever the equity is, we're always here to ensure that we provide that support. Like I said, our goal is to ensure that these courses are affordable and that they are also attainable for all the students who would love to apply for them. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I'm sure we've actually captured all about PRE-SIMULATOR. So to round up this session, we will just actually go back and do a recap of what we talked about the Think Cyber training. Now, we actually said what makes us different is because we understand the ecosystem of what EdTech when it comes to what cybersecurity. So I actually give for those who are just coming in, I did a kind of presentation on what currently is the what need within the cybersecurity terrain. What exactly are employers looking for? Now, the cybersecurity, if you're actually very conversant, something happened recently within a cybersecurity terrain within one of the banks, and it's becoming an opera. Now, what they need is a tier 2 personnel, somebody who can come in and plug and play from day one. Day one. That means it doesn't need to actually go into any more training. It just needs to take instruction. It knows what to do. And its capability will actually stretch across penetration testing, SOC analysis, that's incident response and threat hunting, and forensics. So that is why we curated this particular training. This is the first time we're doing it within the Nigerian terrain. The ones we did before now are what basic entry level training. Now, this is why we properly identified it and a good rapport and relationship with industry stakeholders. Now, apart from that, we've done trainings and we've noticed that even after taking these people real life scenarios, now they still feel the controlled environment is not a practical experience. There is this mentality of Nigerians that if it's not practical, that somebody is standing in my front and training me practically, it's not a practical training. That is what we have experienced. So to actually mitigate that feeling, we brought in what? The Titan session. Now you've finished all your scenarios, you've done 14 scenarios, you've done 7 projects, you've concluded. Now we bring an industry expert. The likes of the people you'll be meeting in the interview, the likes of them within our terrain to come and tell you, do a subject matter expert training on penetration testing. They will pick a particular project. They will do the penetration testing in your presence. You will complete it and actually submit an industry standard report. One, we move to what SOC analysts. Now, the best of these SDRs in the world, which currently Wazoo, you understand, we're bringing in somebody who is their threat analyst to come and talk about infrastructures, how they use the infrastructure to actually protect cybersecurity assets across the globe. Now, here, we're actually bringing the most attacked industry within the Nigerian cyber tech space is the financial industry. Why? Because there's money there. So bringing somebody from that place, who is the chief information security officer, to come and talk about how they manage forensics within the Nigerian financial sector. At that point, we feel you have more than enough capability to walk into the industry and actually do what? Plug and play from day one. Now, what's the next thing to do? The next thing to do is to simply do what? Recruitment. So we actually, to make the recruitment seamless, all those grades you'll be getting at the what Siberian Arena. Because once you're doing anything, we're actually bringing it up at the back end. Just 1 minute. We're bringing it up at the back end. Oh, I'm not sure I have that on here. But whatever you're doing, we have all those grades on the back end. We input it into this AI, the job matcher. Now, once we input it here, any recruiter who comes in to actually recruit you, he has a job description. Now, once you put it, your capabilities match what he needs, an interview is automatically scheduled. So at the job fair, the ending of the job fair is they actually create a portal and actually put in their job fair or they schedule interview. They see your capabilities on the AI, they see your capabilities in real life, you demonstrating project. I think that is how far we'll go for today. The running day, we've been doing this particular stuff for the past 5 weeks. And we thank those, and want to actually welcome those who have actually signed on and actually reserved their seats. Those who are actually preparing to reserve their seats, our doors are open. PRE-SIMULATOR is actually here to actually help you make your preparation seamless and actually make your registration actually affordable. Now, for everybody who has actually make this meeting, want to thank you. Want to thank Mr. Rombuskela for coming here. Want to thank the PRE-SIMULATOR team for coming around. Want to thank everybody who has actually been here. So Mr. Rombuskela actually shared his Mr. Albert Ogulo shared his phone number in case you want to reach out to him directly. But for those who actually you have our WhatsApp handle, obviously would have reached out to you. You can chat us up if you want to reserve a FaceTime session just strictly for you tomorrow. We'll be available tomorrow. On Monday, our doors are still open. So thank you all for coming. And Mr. Rombuskela, you just want to say one last thing before we shut down?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me. It was great, short and to the point. I loved it. And as I said, I hope you guys join us. It is a way to rocket into the industry. Once you get a strong platform, sky's the limit. And as they say, just join us and become part of the Think Cyber Global family.
All right, thank you very much and enjoy your weekend. Thanks a lot. And we'll see you same time next week. Thank you. Hopefully that will be the last session we'll be having. Thank you very much before the training starts. Thank you and goodbye. Have a blessed weekend.